Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Understrain01, and I'm here today with a very special video for you. You know, for years, many of you have asked me to rank my favorite stealth games. And while I always have wanted to do something, it is just so hard considering that there are so many different aspects to stealth-based games. Some games present stealth in the classic and purest sense of the word, while others mix in stealth elements along with more action-oriented options. I enjoy playing all types of games, specifically any game that has stealthy features, whether it is the full Ghost-style stealth game or one that just allows for a stealthy, tactical playstyle. I wanted to highlight all that the stealth genre has to offer.
So what I've done with this video is take my favorite stealth and stealth-like series and chose my favorite game within each series and then ranked only those games in a top 10 list like you have never seen before. Keep in mind, I only allowed myself to choose one game from each series, meaning you only see one Metal Gear, Splinter Cell, and so on. If I didn't do that, the list would be all Metal Gear, Splinter Cell, and Hitman, and that is not what I wanted to do with this video. I hope you all enjoy. Also, don't forget to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, activate notifications by clicking the bell. I want to hear your thoughts, so be sure to leave a comment and let me know what you think of my list. Without further ado, let's get to number 10.
You need to wash those socks more often, girl.
Assassin's Creed Unity.
What's our plan?
Our plan. You're not an apprentice anymore, boy. So study your surroundings. Devise your own plan. I'm not here to hold your hand.
I know that this one is somewhat polarizing given the bugs and broken nature of the game at release, but once Ubisoft got their act together, this 2014 release became quite the gem. While not my favorite AC, I still picked this one because it was the first Assassin's Creed that actually had a dedicated stealth mechanic, the infamous crouch button. The feature was so popular that it had become a staple in all of the AC games since. And while not necessarily a stealthy mechanic, the upgraded parkour system made you feel like you were a badass as you took to the rooftops or kept in the shadows. Unity also allowed you to lure and attract guards, hide around corners, in huge crowds of people, use smoke bombs for cover, hide dead bodies, the list goes on and on. It also introduced stealth co-op to the series, something I really enjoyed and wish that they would bring back. Lastly, the black box style level design also allowed you to choose how to assassinate your target, rewarding some players that were particularly observant with specific cinematic assassination, such as the Notre Dame confessional stealth kill.
Everything's in place. Finally saw Risa, did he? What's our cut?
If you were a fan of stealth games and passed on Unity, or stopped playing because of the issues at launch, I recommend you go back and give this one a try. And moving on to number 9.
Nice.
Batman Arkham City.
Get out of my way, Quinn.
Leave us alone, B-Man! Just leave me with him.
I said move!
This is all your fault! You've hounded him for years, beat him to a pulp, and for what? Why are you so mean?
Surprise! You fell for the old fake Joker gag, Batman.
Batter up!
Rocksteady hits a home run with this 2011 entry in the Batman Arkham series. Being a longtime Batman and DC Comics fan, this top 10 list isn't complete without a nod to this great franchise. While the true focus of the gameplay rests within its extremely fun and flowing combat system, I would argue it is the stealth elements such as stalking, manifesting fear within your enemies, laying traps around the environment, and even the amazing detective mode that makes you really feel like the Dark Knight. Gliding around the map and traveling along rooftops before you attack your prey is a truly great feeling. After all, we all just want to pick up the controller and be able to say,
Where are your drugs going?
All right. All kidding aside, the story is also a highlight for me. Because in most Batman storylines, nobody knows who Batman really is. But this game turns that tired formula on its head. The main antagonist knowing who you really are, which forces you to race against the clock to keep your secret from being revealed. Twists and turns abound as this game makes good use of Batman's deep roster of villains. From time to time, I feel myself being drawn back into this game, and that is why it finds its way at spot number 9.
Night.
Number 8, Ghosts of Tsushima.
I am Harunobu Adachi, descendant of the legendary Yoshinobu Adachi.
Samurai! Do you surrender?
Cowards without honor deserve no mercy.
No mercy!
While an iconic game takes the number 9 spot, number 8 is a new IP from Sucker Punch. Released just last year in 2020, this game was an instant hit. The premise of the game is deciding if you want Jin to stay true to his roots and honor the way of the samurai, or avenge his homeland by becoming the Ghost and embracing the elements of stealth. I found myself getting distracted with just how beautiful this game really is, as it fully immerses you in its environment and setting, following the wind as waypoints to get around the map. Other highlights include slicing off extremities in combat, amazing and engrossing side missions that feel just as rich as the main missions, a fear system similar to the Batman Arkham series, and petting foxes. No, seriously, you can run around and just pet foxes in this game. Like for a ridiculously long time. Like maybe too long. But let's talk stealth. Stalking through tall grasses, luring enemies away from their post, taking them out one by one, until you whittle them down before initiating a standoff. Dispatching the last few guards with a single swipe of your blade, you really feel the heft of your katana with each strike. Ghost of Tsushima is a truly modern masterpiece, and a great entry at number 8. That leads us to number 7, Deus Ex: Human Revolution.
I never asked for this.
No, but we're sure glad it came. Taking the reins of fan-favorite Deus Ex in 2011, Eidos Montreal delivered a solid stealth RPG with Human Revolution, building on what made the original Deus Ex great and bringing it into the modern era. One of the first true stealth RPGs, along with Alpha Protocol, Deus Ex Human Revolution makes this list because it makes you feel totally unstoppable. Some of you might choose Mankind Divided over this one because of the sequel's larger selection of tools and augments, not to mention its more fleshed out cover system. However, I really think that Human Revolution is the better game. The story and pacing just feels so much better to me. Some great aspects of this series includes augmentations to customize Adam Jensen the way you want, and how taking your time to discover information or talk to NPCs could lead to alternate routes, easier access to certain areas, etc. The camera would switch between third and first person depending on where you were in the environment, and that is something I really appreciate. I mean, you can literally play the entire game stealthy. At least you can now with the director's cut, where the boss battles were a little tweaked. This is basically unheard of in any action stealth games. There is typically a boss fight or a scripted section that makes you go loud and proud, but not with Deus Ex. Choice is key with this series, and that includes being sneaky.
Speaking of being sneaky, that leads us to number 6. Thief, Deadly Shadows.
Released in 2004 by Iron Storm, who also made the original Deus Ex, Thief Deadly Shadows is a strong first-person stealth game. It builds on the original Thief and what it stood for. Stealth is not an option in this game. It is a requirement. You are not an overpowered character, as Garrett is a master thief and prefers to slink away in the darkness instead of picking a fight. The voice acting is top-notch as well, really helping you immerse yourself as the character. Focusing on the lighting meter was key, as you really had to pay attention. The AI isn't as dumb as other stealth games, and staying in the shadows is of utmost importance. Unique items like water arrows really come in handy to help you create shadows and sneak around the steampunky Middle Age-ish environment. This art direction really helped it stand out from more futuristic titles and set the mood for a sneaky adventure.
Talking about cool art styles brings us to our next entry on the list, number 5.
Nice.
Dishonored 2.
In his day, Sokolov was Dunwall's genius. He transformed our city with his inventions. Electricity for the factories and carriages racing along above the streets. As I grew up, his buzzing and glowing devices kept me safe. His stories always made me giggle, and his outrageous conversation shocked aristocrats and overseers alike. Now, all these years later, Kiran Jindosh is Karnaka's genius. A mad inventor who has given the Duke sinister machines that move like people but aren't. Clockwork soldiers that fight and kill. Got to find out where Sokolov's being held and bring the old man back alive. Rescue one genius and cage the other before he creates an army of clockwork soldiers.
With its gothic comic book art style, the 2012 Arcane Studios sequel doesn't disappoint. I mean, what can I say about the Dishonored series that hasn't already been said? It is hands down the best first-person stealth series made to date. The parkour feels really smooth and fluid, which isn't usually the case in first-person games. The blink mechanic is one of my favorites in any video game, making exciting and fun ways to set up stealth kills and move around the levels undetected. The freedom of choice is abundant here as well, as there are many different ways to take out your targets, even non-lethally. Finding secret areas, avoiding guards, solving puzzles, all keep the game feeling fresh and non-repetitive. Dishonored 2 gave us a voice for Corvo, which is very appreciated, and also introduced Empress Emily Caldwin, giving us 2 playable characters, allowing for more replay ability. This game also had, in my opinion, one of the best level designs ever created with the rotating mansion level.
Taking the 4th spot is none other than that Vin Diesel voiced classic, Escape from Butcher Bay.
They say hope begins in the dark, but most just flail around in the blackness, searching for their destiny. The darkness, for me, is where I shine.
With the lead voice actor being known worldwide with a very distinctive, "I am clearly a tough guy," excuse me, Vin Diesel's monologue really adds to the overall feel of the game. The level design was fun, engaging with the different areas of the prison acting like hubs, offering side missions and interesting collectibles throughout the game. I actually really like the collectibles in this game and how they unlock cool behind-the-scenes information. The open-ended mission system gives us the ability to use stealth, even if it may have taken a while to figure out how to get it done, especially as we gained the taser, which allowed us for long-range stealth takedowns. Let's not forget about the option to use 2 distinct melee takedowns, one more quiet and reserved, and the other more over-the-top and violent. I also have to mention the eye shine ability, one of the coolest story-based reasons to allow our hero to see in the dark. This game just sucks you in, and that is why it finds its spot at number 4.
I should hide about talking about me. Never wise.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I heard you were coming. You're going to want a shiv and I can get you one. Check my bunk and you'll find one. It's yours.
Everything I see belongs to me.
See this? It belongs to me.
Before we get into our top 3, I wanted to include some honorable mentions.
That mess, I still have to find the boarding zone.
Coming in at number 3, Hitman Blood Money.
We're all quite pleased to have you on this assignment, Mr. 47. The nation's gratitude...
Skip the patriotism, Smith.
Of course. Have you read the briefing?
Not yet. Give me the big picture.
The Vice President of the United States is plotting with Mark Parchesi. I assume you're familiar with him?
I know his work.
Good. They're planning to assassinate the President as soon as he gets back from Los Angeles.
Another drink, sir?
Please.
There's more detailed info on both men in the briefing. Can I do anything else for you? I'm looking forward to finally working with you.
I'll contact you if I need more information. Beyond that, never contact me in person again.
This iconic 2006 stealth masterpiece developed by IO Interactive is the 4th installment of the Hitman franchise. It is considered by many publications as one of the greatest video games ever made. I don't even know where to start with this one, so I guess we will start at the top. Agent 47. One of the best protagonists in all of gaming. While a man of few words, his morality and motivations propel us into each mission with excitement. Blood Money was the start of the open Hitman missions. While not as open as some of the newest entries into the series, without Blood Money, we would not have the free-form Hitman trilogy we have today. Without Blood Money, we wouldn't have the unique way speedrunners take out their targets in the new Hitman series.
I got him, and I just got him. I'm pretty sure that was just him.
Thank you guys. Don't forget to
Blood Money gave us accidents and leave no traces, as well as the game-changing newspaper endings, literally changing whether or not guards would recognize you based on your performance in a previous mission. The mission briefings allowed you to choose your loadout, but the mission design let you completely change up your plan of attack mid-mission as needed. Blood Money blended all of the previous games together, and some of the missions take place in a different order, which leads to such an amazing story once you were able to step back and put it all together. An extremely satisfying game that continues to stand out as one of the best in the series. When it comes to sandbox-style stealth games, the Hitman series is the best. Which brings us to number 2, or rather, a tie for number 1. I know, but I honestly can't decide between the last 2 games. I put a lot of thought into this, and seriously, I would change my mind depending on how I slept the night or whether the wind was blowing, so I just couldn't in good conscience choose one over the other. With all that being said, the tie for my favorite stealth game of all time is Metal Gear Solid 3 and Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
I'm afraid I have no recollection of that, Senator.
That's right. It has been a while.
Nice condom you got here.
Well, thanks. I got a space set up for you in the folk, so you can make yourself to home and no one will even know you're here.
I know. No big surprise there. Let's go ahead and start with Chaos Theory. Released in March of 2005, Chaos Theory is the 3rd game in the Splinter Cell franchise, one of the best stealth franchises ever created. This entry took everything Ubisoft learned in Splinter Cell 1 and 2 and made an absolute masterpiece. It saw the removal of the 3-alarm rule, allowing you to think on your feet and increase the difficulty as enemies would wear more armor and become tougher to take down. While keeping the light bar, we also saw the inclusion of the sound bar, emphasizing the importance of keeping quiet while staying stealthy. We also saw the addition of the OCP to take out lights temporarily, allowing Sam to sneak by. Chaos Theory also included new stealth attacks from pipes, which also allow us to choose between lethal and non-lethal takedowns. It brought back characters from previous missions and games to create a story that really hits close to home. Mission briefings allow you to change up your loadout for each level, while the end of mission statistics would show you how well you did hiding bodies, being spotted, and if you completed optional objectives, giving you a percentage rating. Chaos Theory was hands down the best looking game on the original Xbox. Man, is this game a beauty. And don't even get me started on the hilarious, dumb, and corny banter between the guards. We can't talk about Chaos Theory without mentioning the first of its kind, Stealth Co-op, and also its improved multiplayer mode, Spy vs. Mercs. I would literally play Spies vs. Mercs for hours with the awesome maps and fun gadgets. For all these reasons and so many more, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory shares the top spot on this list. Moving right along to the final entry.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask. Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
and fly. God be with you.
Set 31 years before the events of Metal Gear, this prequel released in 2004 and was the 5th Metal Gear game pulled from the insanely talented mind of Hideo Kojima and developed by Konami Computer Entertainment. It is considered by many to be one of the best video games of all time. The change from urban environments of its predecessors to the 1964 jungle really made you feel like you were in an old-school spy thriller James Bond-style movie. While a classic betrayal storyline, it sets off in motion the entire Metal Gear Solid franchise, including finally being able to play as Big Boss. Speaking of bosses, the boss fights were so unique and amazing, with each being so different and requiring such distinctive ways to take them down. The fight with the End is probably my favorite boss fight in all of gaming, with multiple ways to take him out, including skipping forward the clock on your system and having him die of old age. Such a weird Kojima thing to do. The stealth in this game is on point as well, especially with the way the grass moved as you crawled through it. In my opinion, Metal Gear Solid 3 has the best story of any stealth game. And although Metal Gear Solid 5 may have better stealth mechanics and overall gameplay, the story alone is why I chose Metal Gear Solid 3 to share the top spot on this list. So, ladies and gents, that is my top 10 stealth games. What did you think? Do you agree with me? Tell me why you do or don't in the comments below. I want to hear about your own top 10 lists as well. You can watch my walkthroughs of all the games on the list by clicking the links in the video description. Big shout out to all the awesome supporters, members, and Patreons. Your support allows me to continue making videos, and every cent goes right back into the channel. You are all the real MVPs. I really appreciate you. Until the next video, remember, strain is better than green. And of course, peace out. Meow.